look at this big tree. Check that out. Look at the moss on that. That's cool. Wow, this thing's big. Look at that. Wow. That's really cool. Oh, getting out of breath already, man. Probably 20 minutes in. Just hiked up a really good hill. Getting pretty high up here. Still got more elevation to go though, so continuing on. Pushing through. Really nice out today though. A little hot. I don't know, it's about 77, 78 degrees, 25 Celsius. But once you're moving your body, it gets a little, feels hotter. There's a nice breeze. Plenty of people on the trail today. Keep passing up people coming back. So I'm not alone out here, that's for sure. Probably looks like it from the video, but I'm not. Plenty of people out hiking today. Parking lot was full. So, mountain over there behind those trees. Pretty sure that's the mountain I painted in last week's episode, or the last episode. At the end of June, and there's still all this snow left. How crazy is that? This trail that I'm on actually goes all the way to the top of that if I wanted to. There it is, that's a nice view. I don't think I have the strength to go all the way up there. Look how this tree grew. That's really wild. That's pretty crazy. It's cool seeing weird growing trees like that everywhere. There's a lot of them out here, actually. Alright guys, I made it into a little clearing area up here. Check out this view. How incredible is that? That's pretty amazing. Wow. That's really incredible. Alright folks, came to a fork in the road here. So we got Frog Lake or Winnemucca Lake. I'm gonna head to Frog Lake for the moment. Oh, here it is. Wow. It's right here, literally. Wow, I can't believe I already made it. There's actually a trail that goes all the way around the lake. It's like at a half mile. And you get a nice view of another lake in the valley. So I think I might do that because I don't think I can make it to the other lake. It's like another mile or two. I'm gonna chill at this lake. Yeah, check this out. Now I just need to find something to paint. Find some shade for sure. It's hot, really, really hot. So I'm making my way to the other side of the lake just to see what's here. It's supposed to be a really epic view. Yeah, I'm really glad I came out and did this. I almost didn't do this today because I was running so late, but we got plenty of daylight. Still got about 6 hours of daylight, so there's no rush. The only problem is it's about a 2-hour drive home, so I don't want to hike too much. I'm going to be too tired to drive home because I have to drive home. Oh wow, man, I hope this mic screen, this foam is working for this mic screen. Oh man, I'm definitely gonna have to paint from over there because got the mountain in the background behind the lake. That's gonna be incredible. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to do that. We'll see if I can get a good view or make it work, but that's awesome. So I'm right at the edge of the lake here, the other side. Look at all these rocks. I mean, this looks like a John Singer Sargent painting. I'm coming out here every weekend now, no doubt. This was such an easy hike to get here. I thought the hike here was gonna be way more difficult. It was so easy. Look at that. That's what I'm gonna paint. This lake with the mountain. That is awesome. This is awesome. I think that might be the best view I'm gonna get. This is one of the best painting spots I probably have ever been to. There's just so much out here that I could paint. Alright guys, I think I found my painting spot. It's my painting view anyway. right on the edge of the lake here. Alright folks, so here's my actual painting spot where I set up on these outcropping of rocks. Pretty cool. The only bad thing was I was in direct sun the whole time. I ended up getting burnt today, but we'll talk about that later. But so starting off the painting here, I'm using the 7x10 sketchbook. This is the first time since 2018 that I've used this size sketchbook plein air. For the past few years, I've been using a 5x7. If you've been following my journey, my plein air journey here, all these videos, I've been using a very small sketchbook, and I'm kind of graduating a little bit, going a little bit larger. So you can see I started out with the light blue sky, and then I did some of the water a little bit, kind of keying those to each other, you know, trying to get the values from the sky and the water. And I did some dry brushing on the water there to I left some white spots. It's kind of like accidentally, but I did that on purpose. So that there's some kind of glimmer to the water. And that's what I was really seeing. And so what you saw me doing there just a second ago, I put some wax resist down with that little crayon. It's just a clear wax. So I just draw it on certain areas that I had planned out. And it helps me save the white of the paper. So you can see now I can just paint the mountain, and I don't have to worry about losing those white patches, because that's what the wax resist does. It helps resist the water. So we'll see in the end of the painting here. I should have made the mountain a bit darker, but if I wanted it to be a little more realistic to actually what I was seeing. But I'm actually really happy with how this painting came out in the end, with the values I was able to capture. You know, stuff like that. But so anyway, moving to some of the trees here, and then all I have left to do is this little hill that's in the foreground. And then some foreground trees that I kind of moved around. And that's something with plein air that I do from time to time. I can't always, obviously you're not always going to be able to find a scene that the composition works. Sometimes you have to invent a few things. And especially something like moving some trees around. To me, it's not really a big deal because, you know, it's just trees being moved around. No one's going to know where I actually was painting this. When they're looking at the painting, they're not going to see like, oh, those trees weren't really there, and blah blah blah. You know, it's not important. You know, I'm trying to make a pleasing painting to some extent, but I do try to keep most of it as realistic as I can to what I was actually seeing, because sometimes it is important for me to have some kind of memory and for it to be you know, close to as possible to what was there. It's just a personal preference of mine, but that's the thing about art is, you could tweak this as much as you want. It's your painting, it's your experience. So, but just for me, personal preference, sometimes I try to just keep stuff as close to realistic as possible, or close to what is actually there. So just doing some splattering there, trying to get a little bit of texture on the mountain. There's a bunch of trees and stuff growing near the bottom. So I was just trying to get a little bit of texture and a little bit of value. So I put some shadows there on the mountain, some cooler shadows, because for one, there's a lot of depth in this. You know, the mountain's about 2 or 3 miles away from where I was. So there's a little bit of depth. For my international folks, that's about 6 or 7 kilometers, something like that, away from me. So showing some depth there, but also the shadows are reflecting the blue sky. So they're going to be a little bit cooler. So now I'm working on the darkest value here, some trees in the foreground. This was very windy as I was painting this, very, very windy. So you can see my hand at the bottom right corner. I always have to hold the page down because the wind was blowing. It kept blowing the page open, my sketchbook open. So it was a tough painting, you know. I had that shadow, cast shadow from my hand. I was painting in direct sunlight, so everything's drying super quickly. My palette's drying very quickly, my mixtures. The paint on the sketchbook's drying quickly. So I did this painting in all, it took me about 21 minutes to do this whole painting. And that's pretty quick for a 7x10 like this. Normally the 5x7s take me about 20 to 25 minutes. So I was kind of surprised that I was able to do this one this quickly. But I had to work very quickly, and you know, like I said, I'm happy with how this came out. But it was a tough spot. You know, these rocks were very hard to sit on. Like, it was just challenges all around. You know, I got sunburnt in the end, and it just, yeah, very windy. You know, maybe 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. Also made my recording difficult. You know, talking to the camera and stuff. I had to cut out a lot of clips because my microphone didn't really capture it. But anyway, we'll take a look at this painting once I get back to the car and everything. But that's pretty much the final painting. I'm really happy with how that sketch came out. That was really cool. You know, it wasn't perfect, but I think overall I'm happy with the value, happy with the color. We'll take a closer look at it once we get back to my car. We'll take a closer look at it. But what an amazing little spot to paint at. And just to be at the whole time. It was a little windy most of the time. Now it's not windy at all, but windy the whole time I was painting. But I'm loving this bigger sketchbook. Man, I can get so much more on the page, be so much more expressive than those smaller sketchbooks. This is definitely the smallest size I'm going to be doing plein air from now on. No doubt. It's just way better. Well, walking around the lake one last time, and then I'm going to head back to the car. Start getting something to drink and eat. Got a smoothie waiting for me in the car, so gonna drink that on the way home. And what a beautiful afternoon I spent outdoors painting. Really great, man. I'm definitely gonna come back here for sure, because there's so many different views to paint. I can come back here later in the day or earlier in the morning. You know, it doesn't matter what time I come out here. It's always going to be something I can paint. I mean, you can look at any view and there's so much material, there's so much raw material out here to use and create some paintings. You know, rocks against the water and trees against the water. Yeah, this is just incredible. Crazy. What an amazing place. And even during the summer, the peak season, there's barely anyone out here. There's a few people on the other side of the lake, but literally no one out here. Wow, some big rocks over here. So that was my painting spot, the outcropping of rock over there. It's a little bit of fish jumping in the water every once in a while. Really cool. Incredible, man. What an incredible landscape. So if I would have just walked a little bit further around the lake, look at this view now. I mean, look at this. More trees. I mean, it's just incredible. The views never stop getting better. Look at that. You got these pink wildflowers blooming in the meadow. Well, one of the good things about the walk back is it's going to be mostly downhill, because I walked mostly uphill to get here, so it's much easier. It'd probably be a lot quicker than 30 minutes, so feeling good, feeling really good. I think today was super successful, man. You know, in the happiness meter, in the painting meter, and the epic nature meter, everything just off the charts, man, off the charts. It's really crazy. This is what I've been needing. This is what I've been craving and looking for, man. This is it. So glad I did this. So I don't feel it yet, but I'm pretty sure I got sunburnt. No way. There's no way I didn't. I painted it in direct sunlight for 25 minutes, 21 minutes or something like that. And I've been walking this whole time in mostly sun. Yeah, this will be fun when I get home. I'm sure. I wonder if I look more red right now. I don't feel burnt at all. My neck doesn't feel burnt. My arms don't feel burnt. But I'm pretty sure I got burnt. Up at this high elevation, it's so much easier to get burnt too. I'm just a dummy and I didn't have any sunscreen, so I was like, you know what, I just need to get some summer sun today. So if I need to, I'll go buy some aloe cream or whatever and toughen up a bit, but I'll be all right. Appreciate you guys coming on this journey with me today. Always trying to go to new places, see some epic things, document it, share it with you guys. I'll probably check in once I get back to the car. We can take a quick look at my painting before I head out of here. All right, folks, made it back to the starting position. There's my white van, my ghetto ride, my ghetto van. All right, let's take a look at this sketch, man. Really happy with this one. I like the values that I got, the shadows. You know, it's kind of painting into the sun, so everything's kind of backlit a little bit, so the shadows looked really, really dark to me. The only thing that I saw that was a little bit off was this whole mountain could have been a little bit darker, but I was afraid to, once I saw that in the end, I was afraid to push it darker because it would really ruin the kind of the value structure I have and the illusion of distance. So I didn't really want to mess with that, but I'm pretty happy with it overall. You know, I got the shadows on here, shadows in the foreground, this lake, a little bit of the light hitting the lake there. So, I mean, overall, man, for painting my first time since 2018, painting this large plein air, I'm really happy with this. Yeah, the last time I painted this large plein air, I was just starting out with plein air and watercolor. So this is the best I've ever done at this size. So really, really happy. Pretty awesome. It's very hot in this van, so I got to start up, get on the road. But thanks for coming along, folks. See ya. Peace.